Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is February 10th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see the Hawaiian Islands at the bottom left. Check out the state of California right here. You can see the inside slider that brought some showers with it. Actually had a thunderstorm there across western Arizona. That thunderstorm chance will continue today as that continues its trek off to the east, and then we finally get our complete break of this precipitation. And the showers have been pretty persistent across some portions of Southern California and still kind of hanging on right now, but that should be coming to an end today. Then we turn our eyes across Pacific Ocean. Everybody wants to know, is it going to get active again? And we're going to dive into some of those details here as we go through the video this morning. Taking a look here at those showers, you can see as it pushed down across some of southern Nevada here and across some of California. And we picked up a thunderstorm here as this activity moved down across western Arizona. But again, that should be wrapping up as we go through the day today. However, Arizona and New Mexico get to deal with this precipitation here for the next day or so. Now, looking at day one, you can see what that thunderstorm potential is here, but the biggest story right now in the short term anyways, we're going to get some gusty winds and already ongoing across some of the Sierra Nevada. You can kind of see that northeast component across northern California and out across some of the southern Sierra Nevada. The desert areas, a decent strong north wind here. I mean, it's nothing too crazy, but some of the areas could be gusting up over 50 miles per hour locally, so heads up for that, especially if you're out and about on the roads. The good news is there we start to relax this gradient here as we go into tomorrow afternoon, as you can see, and then we kind of wait and watch to see what the Pacific Ocean has in store for us. And that's what we'll get into detail here in a moment. This is a national blend of models. This is actually daily 2-meter minimum temperature. So it's kind of chilly out there, as you guys know, especially across some of the higher terrain, even across some of the Bay Area and the Valley areas, getting down into the low mid 30s at times. But as we go on into, this is Sunday, we go to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can kind of see that moderation occurring here. And then we're going to get some of that southwest flow with the next round of storm systems trying to get towards the coast of California, all the way out towards Saturday here. You can see kind of moderating here, except for the very highest terrain across the Sierra Nevada and portions of Nevada. Pretty typical. Looking at high risk for sneaker waves, National Weather Service Eureka thought enough of these to put this out, mainly Shelter Cove northbound here. So heads up, sneaker waves are potentially deadly waves that unexpectedly surge, make it much further up the beach than previous wave, or taking unaware beachgoers. I've actually been out on the beach when this has happened before. Washington State was nice and sunny, and we were probably 100 feet away from any wave activity, and then all of a sudden it just swooped way up and it just came crashing through a lot of the driftwood and everything. It was pretty a wild sight to see. I've also seen it another time when I was out on the beach on a car, and all of a sudden it just kind of overtook us, and luckily we were able to get out of there. So these can be no joke here. Watch out if you have your pets and children out in the surf zone. Taking a look at the wind here again, you can see some of the gusts up to 50 miles per hour for Ventura and Los Angeles Mountains, Santa Barbara coast, and through the Santa Ynez range, gust to 45, and northeast winds in the wind-prone areas. Ventura, LA counties, gust 25 to 30. So heads up for that. Watch out for those gusty crosswinds. And the National Weather Service San Diego kind of put this out as well. Looks like pretty gusty here for Joshua Tree and some of the higher terrain as well. Looking across some of the desert areas, again, I mentioned this, but you can kind of see those gusty winds. Nothing too exceptionally strong, though. If you guys want a nice affordable home weather station to measure some of these gusty winds, especially if you're in a wind-prone area, check this one out. Click on that link down below to save 10%. Ultrasonic anemometer, it does UV index, got a lightning detection system, and it's no batteries, and it sets up with your smartphone quite well and stores all the data for you in the cloud automatically. You can see what the app looks like. Very fun weather station. Taking a look at the 6 to 10 day before we dive into the weather models, you can clearly see the bullseye here across the southwest USA all the way through February 19th. And as we go to the 8 to 14 day, nothing different there all the way through February 23rd. Now, the experimental products continue to show this high risk here for precipitation, heavy precipitation for the state of California. It does include some of Oregon, Arizona, and Nevada also. And we go to risk of heavy snow, and you can see that moderate and this high in here for some of the Sierra Nevada. So we continue to watch this. We continue to break things down, and also the moderate risk for some high winds. Now, here we go. We're looking at a wide view of things. There's Japan to the far left, Hawaiian Islands in the center here, and there's the state of California. We're looking at the European, the most recent run here last night versus itself, actually yesterday morning. So this pretty good difference here, about 18 hours. So if we put this into motion, we're looking at 39,000 feet up in the atmosphere. And what we're watching for is if this jet extension has changed or what's going to go on with that. So we continue to scroll off into the future here. We're now into about Tuesday afternoon, you can see this jet stream clearly strengthening and making its way north of the Hawaiian Islands. Pretty good consistency here, model to model run as we go out towards the end of last night's run. This will be about Thursday night, and you can clearly see the jet extension moving across and north of the Hawaiian Islands, and that's what could possibly usher in the next round of storms. Now, taking a look at the Canadian on the left versus the GFS. This is the deterministic run, but we're going to check it out and see if it shows something similar. You can see the jet stream strengthening, starting to move across the Western Pacific, north of the Hawaiian Islands, and the GFS is on the right here. Put that continue that across the ocean. And you can see just really good model agreement here between the Canadian, the GFS, and the European model here. You can see a little bit of difference in timing with some of the systems still. We're going to be ironing out those details as we go through the next few days. But for the most part, you can see the powerful jet stream trying to usher storms back into the west coast of North America. Now, looking at the European on the left versus itself on the right, I want to kind of show you an interesting development here because you can see the state of California here. Let me back that all the way up. In fact, you can kind of see the inside slider first. Okay, then we get a few days off here. We dry out a bit, maybe a shower or something across northwest California. But as we go off into the future, this system has been decaying and weakening as it gets to the coastline here on a lot of the runs. But most recently, last night's run showed it trying to stay intact as it gets towards the coastline. And the most recent run actually shows a pretty decent frontal system impacting some of California. And this would be, if I back up, you can see this is Wednesday late morning, there's Wednesday afternoon, there's Wednesday night, and there's Thursday morning. So that's kind of been uptrending here on the European model. You can see yesterday afternoons kind of holds it right off the coastline here, then maybe tries to bring some precip towards Southern California. But yeah, that's kind of interesting here because that could kind of prime things. You know, things are already very saturated across the state. So if that one comes in before we get the more powerful storm systems out there, that would be something to take note of. And you can see this has been pretty steadfast in the model runs as well. This would be the stronger frontal system that would attempt to bring some heavier rainfall into the state of California. But we're going to look at that in a moment. This is where last night's European model run ends right now. So this is looking at yesterday afternoon, so we can kind of run this out. And here goes that initial system that was falling apart in virtually every model run. It tries to bring a little precip to the state of California. And again, last night's run had an even better system there. So that was that one. And then we take a look at the next one here. And this one starts to bring some heavier amounts, a bit of a stronger system there. And that could bring some flooding concerns with it across much of the state. Also kind of hanging out across Southern California. Again, this would be Saturday afternoon. But again, don't get caught up in the time frame too much just yet. We're just kind of showing you what potentially could happen. And then as we go through Sunday night into Monday morning, check out this one. Another powerful low pressure system. Look at that 986 millibar low right off the coastline here, it's got a little bit of distance here, but it's got a nice southwest fetch, possible atmospheric river activity back into the state of California. Prolonged precipitation event showing on yesterday afternoon. That would definitely have some flooding problems with it as well. As you can see me scrolling back and forth there as we go through the extended forecast. So that is what we've been watching here. Let's see what the GFS says. This is hot off the presses. It's actually running as I speak. I try to delay the video so we could look at this. Now, the initial system that the Europeans been upgrading here is this one there. What does the GFS show? It shows a little bit of light rain for Northern California and not much else. But then the stronger front starts to arrive as we go through Friday night into Saturday morning. We're now into Saturday afternoon, and you can see kind of that slow moving atmospheric river potential here with that first system. And, we'll have to look back and see what that next one would do. Actually, let's just back up to the 060 because you can see something similar with that frontal system there as we go through Saturday night into Sunday. It would have some flooding concern with it as well. And then it wants to park this powerful low off the coast of Oregon and continue to bring just some ridiculous atmospheric river activity into the state of California. And with things really saturated here, that would be very concerning. But again, we still have several days. Obviously, it's next weekend before the really big systems, or the end of next week before the really big systems start to get back into California. This kind of shows you the discrepancy of what's going on here. We're way up north here across Northern California, and you can see the ensemble means have some really big totals in here, but you can see it's really hit and miss, and the timing has not been fine-tuned yet, obviously. And looking at San Francisco, the potential for some bigger precipitation amounts exists in there, and this is probably going to be changing back and forth over the next few days. Los Angeles, some big totals exist in there, but again, some of them have, there's big differences in some of the timing of this precipitation. If we look at the mountain snowpack, we do, actually the mountain snow potential here, we do have this potential coming up here. And again, we got to fine tune this as we go. I'm just going to showing you that ensembles are still all over the place. Don't want to get caught up in any one timeline just yet. We look at Mammoth here, also same thing, and same thing with Truckee Tahoe. Yeah, we do have some snow potential with those systems. San Diego International Airport, something similar there as well. You can kind of see things still all over the place. We'll be fine-tuning that over the next few days. And I wanted to show you the European ensembles here as well. So you got the Pacific Ocean right here, and you can see Honolulu's right there. This is our jet stream at about 30,000 feet, and you can see all 50 ensemble members. Each one of these has a line, so you can see there's going to be 50 of these little squiggly lines here for each ensemble member. And as we scroll out towards, this is about Thursday, actually this Thursday afternoon right here, and you can clearly see, I mean, virtually every ensemble member has a very potent jet stream by this point riding across north of the Hawaiian Islands and pointed at the state of California. So we do have the confidence for storm systems rolling in. We just don't know the exact timing and just how strong they are going to be just yet. How progressive will those frontal systems be through California? Are they going to hang up and drop huge amounts of rainfall and renew the flooding threat across much of California? Those are all good questions, and that's something we're going to be trying to answer here over the next few days. And of course, we've got, this was issued yesterday, actually updated yesterday, and you can see this is the February 17th to the 21st time frame. And again, this is the experimental product kind of showing the high risk for some heavy mountain snow and some precipitation. And they've got this hatched area here, or this shaded area here, that talks about the flooding possible. And of course, any atmospheric river that hangs up over the area is going to have that potential here. But yeah, interesting stuff. And Southern California, Los Angeles here, you can see they call for some moderate rainfall amounts just in this time period right now. Not getting into too much detail just yet, but we do have that potential for some higher rainfall amounts as well. Now, taking a look over the last 7 days, look at this. I mean, some areas are well above normal here for the last 7 days. Obviously, we just got absolutely hammered with some storm systems there. But yeah, kind of interesting to see that there. We might get a nice bloom across some of the desert areas. Death Valley got a lot of precipitation as well. Portions of Nevada. Closer look at it here, and you can see some areas up over 800% of the normal precipitation during that time. This is looking from the water year, though. Look at October 1st. We are still below average across a lot of the Sierra Nevada. So we actually still need to build up that snowpack, although we still have some areas that are above average since October 1st. And that does include Death Valley out there, but some portions of Las Vegas and southern Nevada, actually kind of a sharp cutoff there as well. And as you can see, we are still below the 50th percentile as far as snowpack across the Sierra Nevada. So yeah, we need more snow actually. But the reservoirs are doing great. All of them are at or above historical average, so kind of nice to see that. Take a look at avalanche.org. If you're going off into the backcountry here, you can see we got some moderate and some considerable risk here across the Sierra Nevada and up for Utah and Colorado as well. So yeah, anyway, we're just going to continue to break this down day by day. The confidence is there. The timing is not yet, and we don't know if those fronts are going to be progressive or if they're going to be really dangerous atmospheric rivers that hang up over any given area. We do not know that detail with any amount of confidence just yet. So you got to stay tuned day by day. Right now is just time to try to clean up and prepare for the next round of systems moving in there. You saw some of those model runs. Some of them are pretty sinister with bringing some very heavy precipitation and kind of hanging it up over any given point across the state of California. So check back daily, stay prepared, be prepared, don't be scared. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.